Hello, everybody, and welcome to a festive episode of Two Average Days. As you can tell by Mr. Baker's festive look.
Yes.
You're looking
Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. Merry Christmas and a happy new year to everybody. Do a little year in review for 2021. I'll start with the Biden presidency. It sucked. There you go. There you go. That's all you need today. There's the 2021 review. In depth and in detail. What did you think of it?
I think, and I don't know whether we did anything in 2020, but I think it's a continuation of the dumpster fire. I don't see an end in sight until maybe the midterm elections, which are coming up.
Yeah, in November. Yeah, I think from what I'm seeing is Build Back Better is now in a crippled state. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm watching today, just looking through news things and stuff and just kind of getting prepared for it. And it's like, you even get the feeling that the Democrats have given up on a lot of this stuff. He hasn't been president for a year, and there's already like an article in the New York Times here. Why don't you just step down?
It's reminiscent of Jimmy Carter, and you and I lived through Jimmy Carter.
Yes, we did. We did. I think the other thing, I think the difference in that helped Jimmy, though he sucked tremendously, though he's allegedly a really good guy.
Supposedly, that's the allegation. I don't know.
Allegedly, he's a heck of a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see him talking, he seems like a great guy.
Every time I see him, I'm reminded of 17 or 19% mortgage rates.
Yes.
I mean, the economy was in the worst shape probably since the Great Depression when Jimmy Carter was president.
And everybody, and it's weird, but like I do believe everybody on his staff was indicted at one time or another too, or some crazy. Yeah. He allegedly he's a good guy, but I think I think one thing that helped him though is I don't think that he had to put up. Most of when people, I remember Carter. I mean, I just remember him. And I'll tell you a funny Jimmy Carter story when we're done.
Really?
But I remember him well. And one of the things is that just people thought he was incompetent. But the problem he didn't have the social media push, right?
True.
Right. So it isn't like, he had articles about Joe Biden's earlobe on whether or not which Joe Biden shows up, right?
Right.
Was this the Joe Biden with the detached earlobe or the one with the, attached earlobe? He didn't have to put up with that. And then he didn't have to put up with the fact that I've never seen anybody read the teleprompter like Joe Biden does, to include at times of reading the direction.
Yeah, right.
And I think that other presidents were as bad as him. I don't think they bumbled and stumbled with the media scrutiny where all of a sudden, like, MSNBC, let's say they want to hide something. It doesn't matter. It's already on the internet.
Right.
And I think one thing that hurts the mainstream media, and we use that term, as derogatory as I'm trying to make it sound, right? Yes. They have been in a bubble so long that they realize nobody's actually listening to you, just watching the tape, right? I think I might have said this on another episode. It was like with Putin, right? I read an article about what Joe Biden said to Putin, right? We're going to give you a really strong warning if you do something.
Yeah, right.
And then we're going to do some sanctions. And I'm like, this is an interesting article. Except you never tell me what Putin told us.
Yeah, right.
Right. I mean, the more you look at that, it's just silly. But I don't think he can climb out of it. I mean, I know where is he? Somewhere he's screaming, we're going to watch out, GOP. I'm driving. and I'm not on my medication.
Right.
Everybody better watch out because I'm going to be on the sidewalk. And I do think his son, even though they didn't cover it, well on the other ones. And I'm not sure, depending on who you talk to, I'm not sure it would have affected the election since many people thought that it was stolen.
Right.
I don't know if it changes anything with just the wacky way we were there, but he hangs like an albatross now because, I'll be honest with you, if you want to make fun of him, they just took these pictures off his computer. And I don't have pictures like that on my computer. Okay. But a lot of people do, and it's not necessarily horrible.
Right.
With the cigarette trying to say, probably 8 million people got those.
Right.
Not me, by the way. But when you're the president's son and they're making you look shady and they show that picture, it does make a visual of like, hey, you probably should have not took your laptop in.
Yeah.
So, he's in this whole other situation of being buried. And then, remember, you probably don't know what day it is. Let's go, Brand. So I think I agree one thing with you as we kind of roll up and get this year and wind it up. I think you're 100% correct when you go, I think this was a continuation from 2020 when the pandemic hit.
Yep.
And I've said it on more than one issue, one episode, and I've said it many times to you personally. Anybody that tells you we were prepared for anything is a liar.
Yeah.
I was in the schools, and it wasn't that people were not prepared or people weren't ready or people weren't professional. They were great. You just had this gigantic cinder block dropped on you that nobody expected.
Yeah.
I don't think, I was in the schools. I don't think anybody did a bad job. I think they did the best they could with the cards dealt to them.
We forget how good the economy was. The economy was booming.
Yes.
Trump was going to win in a landslide.
Yeah, they burnt the place down to make sure.
They burnt the place down to get him out. And now we're trying to put the fires out, and they can't. Now we're up to Omicron. I don't know how many letters in the freaking Greek alphabet. They're going to burn them all up.
Yeah, I was another interesting article where they said generation, whatever this new generation is called, Generation XYZ, whatever it
is. Whatever.
Yeah. And said something that I found extremely interesting. It was like, what they really should have just said was young people, but they were trying to be trendy.
Right.
They're over this. And the truth is, you and my age probably are a little more sensitive because we're more likely to die if we get it, right?
You're right.
Keeps you thinking about it. But for young people, if that's not happening, if they're, everybody wants to believe that everybody cares about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I like to refer to those people as ignorant because they don't. Not that it's not a good thought, right?
Right.
I think you and I've had this conversation. It's impossible for you to care about everybody.
Yeah.
For you to say, I really care about it, you're a liar. You just emotionally, if you can care for 5 or 10 people, really care about them, you're doing a good job. Seriously, you can care about 5 or 10 people. You're doing a great job. These knuckleheads go, I care about the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's an abstract. What do you mean you care about? Do you give them any money?
Mm-hmm.
Do you help anybody? Have you researched your land and realized who you stole it from and gave it back? Probably not.
Right.
You drive to your, green meeting in your car. Do you take an airplane? Climate meeting. Most of it's silly hypocrisy. But you can probably care for about 5 or 10 people. You can do that. You're an outstanding person. Yeah. But they just they're burying us because you got people young and old now going, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want to get anybody sick. But you're now giving us so many directions we can't follow.
Well, and I don't think that the public understands the ripple effects of what's been done. Okay, so I was going to go to there's only one mall or 2 malls left around here.
That's America.
Yeah, and half of the shops are now closed. Okay. And the other half are like limping along because they can't find employees. I went yesterday to a Chinese restaurant in a little town called Paw Paw, small little place. They've closed it completely off. They're only doing takeout. Okay. They only had 10 or 12 chairs, tables anyway.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the owner and I'm like, is this still the same owners? Because they have really good food. Yeah. And I said, why did y'all close your indoor dining? He says, we can't find help. We cannot find help.
Yeah. I mean, we just shattered the economy. And I think that we'll suffer for it.
We have inflation. We have inflation. We have nobody wants to work because they've thrown, they gave away the money. Mm-hmm. And now they're doing this Build Back Better. I guess they're printing a couple of more trillions of dollars. I mean, the inflation is insane. We talked about it last time.
Yeah. Just.
Right. So, if we're not, Nostradamus, but we could probably predict what 2022, at least the first 6 or 8 months, is going to look like.
Yes, it's called the shit show.
I would say so.
Crazy shit show. And I do have to say this, about it. And this is probably the meanest thing I'm going to say because I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not understand even people that voted for him, and they hate them. But you can watch this guy talk and go, yeah, it gives me confidence. I felt like, dude, it ain't what you're saying. Because you know what? I probably ain't going to like much what any Democrat says.
True.
But he is cringeworthy. He is cringeworthy. His beady eyes, and he's reading, and he's being told what to say. And I mean, he's even said, they told me I have to leave now. And nobody covers it, like nobody sees it. It's. I tell a lot of people when they're talking to me about, well, they're not covering it. I said, no, you just still, because it's usually people our age. They'll say stuff like, well, they're not covering that stuff. I'm like, I'll be honest with you. The internet is. It's all over the place. Okay. I mean, you could probably find 5,000 sites that is just basically based on talking about how he does not seem to have a mental connect sometimes when he's out.
Well, we had talked about it. We thought he'd have the heart attack done by now, right? But number two, Camilla is. I don't think they want to put her in power.
She's not any more ahead of the game than he is. They managed. I will tell you this. This is not about whether or not I know the election was rigged. I'm not going there because I don't know either way.
Right.
There's no such thing as a pristine election, and you like to talk about that. If you think there was no fraud, no.
Right.
But one of the things that I find with Biden is I'm trying to put this right because I want to act like, I know there's fraud. But he's so brutally disliked. His numbers are so brutally bad.
Yeah.
He is the butt of a lot of jokes from people in the middle. Mm-hmm. The Democrats have just totally just somehow messed up their relationship with middle America, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow he got 80 million votes yesterday. I mean, the election was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
He had 80 million votes.
Mm-hmm.
You probably can't find 11 people that will admit that they voted for him, right?
Yeah. Right.
And the people that vote for him, and this is not an insult to my liberal Democrat fans, friends, because they're not fans.
Right.
You would have voted for Satan if they had put him up there. As long as you put Beelzebub and a D by his name, it's got to be good, and hit the button, right?
Yep.
And I don't mean anything unfair because there's also, you and I both know it, there's people that if you ran Beelzebub and you put an R by their name, they go, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm not picking on politics, but if you're one of those people, your vote don't count.
Yeah, right.
Okay, because you're going to vote for whoever. You're not voting for anybody other than the symbol. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think to have 80 million votes, you had to have a lot of people who weren't voting for the symbol. They had to have some sort of belief system that this guy was going to be good. and you can't find any of them now. So, if I was a giant conspiracy theory, that would, if I was looking for a giant conspiracy theory, I would. A lot of votes we can't find.
Right.
So that's interesting. But I think 2022 is going to be there. But look, this is our last show of 2021. We appreciate the people that have supported us both behind the scenes and, watching our show.
We do.
2022 will be a little different for Two Average Joes. It was only a matter of time before we evolved into this, since my dear longtime friend wearing a elf hat is a lawyer.
Yeah, right.
I spent 30 years in police work.
Yep.
That we were going to, and we knew this, and it was only time before we evolved to it, where we were going to focus on crime for a little bit, and especially true crime and some of the things that we know of. And as much as you may be stunned, there's some stuff where justice was not done.
True that.
Okay. And we need to talk about that. And we also, I think, for our viewers, there's crime as a culture. Crime has a culture. And I think we have done a poor job describing that. I think we have done a poor job of discussing crime as a culture. And it is, and crime does have a culture. And the American culture, there's a slice of that culture, slice of that pie, that's a little bit tolerant of crime. We'll discuss that more when we get into stuff. It's just weird world, but weird world we do live in. So, Robert, as we shut down for the big 2021, anything you want to say?
Only a few predictions. Okay. One, I think we've already said it, but we believe that the Democrats are going to lose, and it's going to be bloodletting at the midterms, and probably our governor and our illustrious AG might go down the crapper if the Republican Party can field people who can beat her, because I think she's beatable because of her performance in the pandemic. That's prediction number one, at least from the elf hat guy. And you may or may not agree with that. But secondarily, the stock market, and I'm not sure about the real estate market, because the real estate market, I don't know how it is in Mississippi or Virginia, but here it is on fire because there's no inventory. So it's almost like another bubble from 2006, which was horrifying, right? But we have the perfect storm of the stock market is unrealistically high. We have the real estate market is unrealistically high. We're printing money like there's no tomorrow. Okay. The inflation is getting crazy. So we have a reckoning coming. Okay. And this is just a prediction from me, and I'm a lawyer, so I don't know much, but we've lived through it, Joe and I, at least 5 times, where shit hits the fan and the economy tanks. Right. So right. I don't know. And this is in the background of, these elections are coming. All right. So that's the other prediction is, we've got a reckoning coming financially, and I hope everybody is hunkered down for that. And then the third thing that I have is, we talked about it last time, but Putin is on the border of the Ukraine with God only knows how many 100,000 troops. And we have, I don't know what Joe, we can call Joe, Dopey Joe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. His leadership has not been stellar. All right. After the Afghanistan fiasco, I can't imagine him doing anything of substance in the Ukraine. All right. Now, the only thing left is, are we going to botch China too? All right. Because, anyway, just a few quick thoughts on that, Joe. That's my predictions for 2022. It's dumpster fire continuation. Financial, the election is going to go down the shitter for the Democrats. I didn't talk about cryptocurrency, which is a joke. Some anonymous dude started Bitcoin, and now it was at 87,000. I think it's down to 44, but it's probably going to disappear. But that's that Generation X that is looking for something like gold. At least gold, you can shine it and you can have it. Right. Bitcoin was created by some anonymous guy, and you got to mine anyway. So those are my predictions for 2022. How about you?
And then they broke the 7th seal.
That's what
My
I said.
prediction. Look it up.
Right.
Right. That's it. That's my prediction.
There we go. So happy holidays. Oh, hit the like button. Join, the couple of people who see this.
Yes. If you see it, just hit the like button. Sweet Jesus, I can't take it. Holy cow. If you watch it, just grab your mouth, hit the like button.
Right. And subscribe and, make a comment. We got one comment on the last one. Hit the like button. Right.
Yeah, everybody have a great Christmas and you enjoy your new year, and we'll see you everybody real soon.
See ya.